That was a rather subdued Bob.
It was.
I just woke up.
That's why.
I feel really good that we're all here, though. This has gotten really painful.
It was so long. That was really rough.
It's only been a week.
It's been 2 weeks, hasn't it?
2 weeks.
No, I'm saying this doesn't count as we would have recorded on Friday, so it's like we missed 1 week.
It feels really long. It felt really long.
Okay, Daughtry.
Okay, the last podcast went up July 23rd. It's now August 15th.
Right. I don't know.
It's been like 3 weeks.
Fell into a wormhole or something?
No, we missed 1 week. This still counts as the second week we would have recorded something. We're just delayed by a couple of days. Get what I'm saying?
I like how your mind works, how you like rationalize our like failure to put up a podcast.
This is why I fail in everything I do, because I rationalize everything, and it never makes sense to anyone.
It hasn't really been a month since we've potted. It's only been a month.
It reminds me of my senior year at college, end of first semester. I'm like, I can still pull a 3.0 GPA if I go to all my classes next semester.
Right. It's like August 30th and rent's due on September 1st, and I have $2. I'm like, I can make this happen. I can make this happen the next day somehow. I'll pick up some gigs. Some gigs.
Some gigs. I'm on Craigslist gigs.
I'll pick up some Johns.
Oh, I'll sign up for TaskRabbit. It'll make $1,000 in a day. I can make it happen, guys.
So what do we even do anymore?
I don't know.
What's been happening in the last month?
I don't know, guys. I saw Byram do improv comedy.
Yes.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Byram, you have an impressive stage presence, and it was really fun to watch you. I really wanted you to like say more things. I wanted like everyone else to shut up, and I just wanted you to say things, especially your dumb shit partner. I hope she doesn't listen.
We get a lot of comments on the podcast that go something like that.
Yeah.
Like exactly. I wish those Hall kids would shut up and Byram would say more things.
Right, I just want to hear his
My mom's got a comment like that.
So it was really fun.
I got the email the next day saying that I've been approved for 301.
Hooray! I'm not surprised.
Congratulations.
But then everyone else I'm sure got it too, and I'm like, this is like last year when I took acting classes with the worst actors in the world. The two instructors. One is Kevin Bacon's brother-in-law. That's literally his claim to fame. They opened up a vegan froyo shop together like 10 years ago. It failed.
Yummer yogurt?
Yeah,
Yummer yogurt there?
Yummer yogurts. I remember taking the first level of that class and going there and be like, oh my god, this is what like Brando must have felt like showing up when he went to like to whatever fucking acting school he went to. Lee Strasberg. Like I was like, this is my moment, right? And then I went through that first class. I remember having like chills like when I would leave the class. I'm like, oh my god, I'm living my dream. And then when that class ended, they were like, okay, you have to get approved to go to advanced study. And I like waited for that email, and I got the email, and it was like the proudest moment of my life. And fast forward like a few weeks, they're like begging me to come for audition. They're like, we have a casting director for Dora the Explorer. Like, come in and read for them. And it was just like, you slowly begin to realize that like it doesn't mean anything. In your head, it's meant everything, you know?
But do they make you pay money to go to these? Yes, it's like the comedy shows. I'm like, I have a show at like such and such a place, and everyone's like, congratulations, you're booking shows. I'm like, no, it's like a bringer show. Like I guarantee that like 8 people come and pay like fucking $50 a piece.
Right.
Anybody can get on these fucking shows. If you just say that everyone's like, you're doing it, you're making it. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm doing bringer shows. It's fucking pathetic. I could walk in there and be like, here's $200, let me perform. They'd be like, sure, no big deal. Come back next week. This dude at my show last week on Tuesday night, it was like this hectic mess, and I got up on stage and fucking bombed. And after I got off stage, the booker comes up to me and goes, you're on next. I was like, no, I just went, dude. Like, so glad you remembered. And then he was like, well, how did it go? And I was like, like nobody laughed. It was total crickets. And he was like, all right, you want to come back next week? I was like, what is this fucking, what are you talking about? I just blew it. Why did you invite me back for next week?
He's like, yeah, but you bought 16 drinks, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think David Suarez slipped him a 20 just to like give me the self-esteem for it. God bless that Hispanic Buddha.
God bless him. He's doing the Lord's work.
He really is, that guy. I love him to death.
He's such a good guy.
He's such a good guy. He really is.
So at our improv show, we planned on like meeting up earlier and grabbing a drink before the show, and in his true fashion, he gets there like 15 minutes late. But he sends me text messages like, make sure we're on the same team. Make sure we go up at the same time. I'm like, I can't control any of this. Like, you have to get here. Like, he shows up literally like a half hour into the show. And he does his thing, and he got paired with a disaster.
Big time.
And it just felt like deja vu from our first show because he was so devastated after our first show. He just stormed out and sped off in his car. It was so tough to watch.
Yeah, so David's partner, remember early on in the days of the pod we would talk about the improv and yes-anding?
Yes.
David's partner was literally every single thing David said, his partner would be like, no, but he would just like be like basically yelling at David in order and stopping the scene completely. This kid was like really thought he was like a big star. I don't know, but anyway, you both have tough partners.
He's one of those people who you would never even like talk to in high school, just because like not because they're nerds or anything, but just because he's one of those people that's just like so hard to communicate with, right?
He should be a stand-up comedian. He should
shouldn't do any kind of group work.
Solo sports. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he was funny and he had like funny ideas and had was on stage and doing things, but like I don't think he should have been doing the improv stuff. Anyway. Sir, if you're listening, you have a career in stand-up comedy or like being a toll booth attendant.
Just buy 16 drinks.
Yeah, exactly. You too can be a successful stand-up.
Do that your whole life.
Yeah.
I just imagine Liz doing like an infomercial at that. You too can be a successful comedian.
Yeah.
Sitting at a bar and they're like, Liz Hall, here's a drink.
Yeah, Liz Hall up next. She now performs just from her bar stool. You don't even have to look at her. She'll just be over there talking to herself. She always is.
In her second set, she literally just spins around on the bar stool saying, wee!
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it. Guys, can I start? I kind of want to start a new segment where I just test out a joke premise on you guys and see if you think it's like funny or sad or racist.
Let's work it.
Okay, cool. So yesterday at work, I am a waitress, and I had a gentleman come in, and he was like very jovial and lively, and he ordered a bunch of food, but he left me like a 10% tip, which I was like kind of bummed out about. But anyway, so moving on, and then a couple hours later, another guy comes in, and we had this like really great conversation, really good rapport, like blah blah blah. No, another 10% tip, and I was like, what is going on? And so I happened to like think back, and both of these guys were black. So there were two black guys came in, and both of them left me shitty tips. And this is like a stereotype that black people can't tip. And I initially got like really upset and mad, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, blah, blah, blah. I work for my money too. Like, I deserve these tips. And then I thought, I'm constantly feeling this like horrifying white guilt about like what it is to be a black person in America and like not really able to like do anything to like help. And I thought maybe that was like my little drop in the bucket towards like leveling the playing field a little bit.
What,
and
not
like,
getting a tip?
Yeah. Like, could that like be my like, I'm sorry, like if I like don't care about not getting tips from black people, is that like me kind of being like, like you guys must be really pissed, and so like I understand why you don't tip me?
Yeah,
can I be like a representative for like the white population to like be like, listen, I know you've gotten definitely on the short end of the stick in a lot of situations, so like you don't really have to tip me as much as like a white person would have to.
Okay, so here's what I think you have there.
I mean, the fucking French Canadians have no goddamn fucking excuse.
Right.
And so those motherfuckers dropping 10% on me, I'm gonna jerk off on their fucking waffles. But black people, it's fine. It's fine. Like,
I think it's kind of funny. It's like that. I think that's like basically racism right there. Like
that's
like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
but is it like malignant racism?
No.
Or is
So
it just like
no. Well, it is. Yes. But it is like liberal racism. It's like, oh, you poor little person, like you and your people are so incapable of doing things on their own that you need you know what I mean? Like you need my money or you need my something or other or whatever because, you know, everything's so hard for you and you can't do it on your own. It's like it's like the real gross like like big government like nanny state racism that like it actually keeps people down rather than the like sort of overt racism that like actually doesn't really affect people that much except for like maybe it hurts their feelings on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that kind of racism, like when perpetrated by like the government is like the real problem. Like here's a bunch of stuff for free. Don't worry about it. We know you're having a tough time, so you just go about your business, and we're gonna lower the standards for you.
Yeah.
And somehow lowering the standards for you will cause you to like do better in your life. It's never worked for anybody.
No. I don't care about them doing better in my life, but does it absolve me of my white guilt is all I fucking care about. That's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Fair point.
I'm trying to absolve myself of my white guilt, so I don't constantly act so fucking weird and guilty around black people, which is like kind of what I do right now. I'm racist. It's fine. I'm racist. I'm working on it. I feel like this is what I'm really trying to like become less racist by like saying racist things. Like, how the fuck does that work?
Well, can I just say like make an observation about like this sort of stand-up comedy that I've seen in general?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like race-based jokes, and like they're not generally that funny.
They're
like,
never funny. I feel like sometimes they are.
It's like a low-hanging fruit, but it's not it's not a good fruit. It's like not, you know what I mean? Like
it's honeydew.
But it's like, it's sort of like the thing where, as a comedian, like you're a comedian, right? So you're doing comedy on stage, and so you are sort of free to say whatever you want. So like, you kind of try to say things that you really would never say in real life because you'd be too scared, but now you have this like power of being like sort of almost immune to criticism because you are doing stand-up comedy. And like, I just feel like the race jokes just aren't that, they're never that funny. Unless they're like really clever observations about people, but generally they're not like original.
Right. Well, you know what I think it is for me is that I feel like what I'm trying to do in stand-up comedy is like tell like my absolute truth, which might be like a fucking self-absorbed way to think about it. But because I think my absolute truth is like the funniest part of me, and so, but I think in my day-to-day life, I'm never even able to come close to accessing that. Right. So I'm trying to like dig it out when I'm doing stand-up comedy and like expressing my like white guilt racism on stage is like maybe a little bit towards a step towards exposing my personal truth. Maybe the joke is that I'm like, I don't fucking know like what to think about any of this, and so like I'm racist, but I've never thought of myself as anyone who could even be considered racist because I'm like, I don't know.
Right. Well, everyone's racist.
Right. Everyone's racist.
And that's like sort of what's funny, and I think where the joke is for you is like that like how do you get at the fact that you're racist from a point of view of like being like, I could never be racist. Some of my best friends are black. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even though like you are observably racist, but like you don't see that. You can't imagine that would be the case.
Right. Yeah.
I think that might be the joke.
Yeah.
What I would say is that joke, you're going to need to spend some time writing it.
Right,
because
exactly.
it is so good, and when you threw in that French-Canadian thing,
right.
I instantly thought of it.
That's the punchline. Exactly, right. Yeah, that's the punchline.
And I think I can only imagine how amazing it would be as like a video, like a sketch video. Holy shit, it'd be good, You could totally see you like walking into a restaurant, two table settings, one French-Canadian couple, one single black guy,
Yeah.
We should do it. I have a video camera. Let's start making like really shitty quality videos and see where they go.
That's how many a porn career was launched with similar words.
Well, so so here's how we'll do it, Byram. Like, you'll get the studio set up with the video camera, and you'll put a mop and a broom in place of Bean and I, and then we'll tell you where to put them and how to pantomime our actions. Like,
right.
And then you can like interact with the mop and the broom, and we'll talk.
Yeah, I'll be like, hello.
And I'll be like, well, hello, Byram. How are you today? You like my hairstyle?
And I'll be like, hello, governors.
Rocky.
Crikey, hello, governors. Let's have some tea and crumpets. The mop is always Cockney, because I'm gonna... Cool. Oak, do you have a shut the fuck up?
You know, I don't. I was scrambling to come up with one this morning, and
Cool, because you've only had a fucking month to prepare for this, but no big deal.
I know. I mean,
you also had the 17-minute countdown before we started the podcast.
I was too busy trying to figure out how many minutes were left until the podcast.
Sorry, I just wanted everyone to be really prepared for this podcast.
See, I'll tell you what happens is that basically the only thing I ever do, like, in life is, like, if I have a joke going with Leah that's making her laugh, like, I can't stop doing it.
Yeah.
Stops laughing. So it was like before the podcast, like, I was like putting globs of oatmeal in front of her and then like making moose faces, and it was funny, so I just had to kind of roll with it, and I couldn't do anything else.
Dude, that is my fucking stand-up comedy career in a nutshell. globs of oatmeal and moose faces. That's all I do.
Listening on the audio, I just put my thumb to my temples and wiggled my fingers as if I was a moose, because my daughter, who's 1 year old, thinks that's funny. So you should think it's funny too.
Everyone should think it's funny. And I'm going to fucking rip that shit off. There's been a huge rash of joke stealing going on lately, and that's going to be my latest one. Ooh! To the listener, I just did the same thing, and it was funnier.
That joke has an MIT license. It's free for you.
Perfect.
That's a programming joke for all you.
Ooh, rough crowd.
What was I gonna say? Oh, so Leah now has her first word for me.
Is it moo? It's moo. I taught her that. Fuck.
Byram, you get to guess one. What do you think Leah's first word is?
Garlic. Good choice.
It was really close.
No. Strangely, her first word is baby.
What?
So she has this little toy, like this little like baby doll, and she just runs around with it, like giving it kisses and yelling, "BB, BB, BB, BB." And Leah, where's your baby? And she'll go, "Oh, BB," and she'll run and find her baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, what if she's a teen mom?
So this is the thing, is like, well, Amy and I were talking about this earlier. Is it's such a nature versus nurture thing, because like Amy and I are aggressively trying to like get her to play with balls or like, build things with blocks, or do like, you know, I want her to play with trucks and do engineering like with blocks and like all this other stuff. Nope, she wants her BB.
Yeah.
She wants to give her baby a binky and pat it and kiss it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that just, I wonder if there are any little boys that are, I'm sure there are, because there's like different people of every different stripe, but like that's a uniquely feminine characteristic.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I just had the one kid, so it's hard to do.
I know, exactly. And like, but every single baby is different, but I know a couple of little girls like that, and I don't know any little boys like that.
Right. So I think that might just be hardwired.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if she like remembers seeing Amy do it. But still, it's like the fact that she's interested in doing that is.
Yeah, I don't. It's like. I mean, so apparently one of the like stages of development that the pediatrician asked you about is whether the baby is caring for things. Like, so that's like one of the like sort of checks for autism is whether the kids like care for toys or something like that. So Leah's
I just
good.
Had a mental flashback of like Byram putting his baby dolls like under the wheels of cars and stuff.
After this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That's what.
Well, right, you know, when we were, like my friend Mark and I used to burn the heads off of GI Joes with an exercise bike. That was our like afternoon fun. Remember that?
And the beloved troll dolls of your younger sister.
We murdered them.
You murdered them. You
Yeah.
also used to put toads in candle wax,
Yeah.
like hot candle wax. I
Yeah.
thought you were a sociopath for like a long time.
You know, they call that a red flag.
Yeah, it was. There were a lot of red flags.
A lot of red flags.
Smashing
You know,
mice with bowling balls.
Yes. Well, that mouse was trapped in a mouse trap and was suffering, so I
So
did
you-
put it out of its misery.
Oh my gosh. You like. Good thing nobody was paying attention to
Well,
us.
right, because that was back in a time when people didn't pay attention. Kids
Right.
just did weird shit because they were weird. But
Yeah.
now you have to go to fucking prison if you did that kind of stuff.
Right. I was upstairs watching untold hours of television, eating cheese and yogurt,
Right.
and you were downstairs smashing rats with bowling balls.
Right.
And now we are adults, so
Right.
somebody should have put us in jail.
But
That's so funny that you used to destroy treasure trolls. My next door neighbors used to out of their basement. It was a family that created hair accessories that were like sold in department stores. So their basement was like a huge factory for this
Like
stuff.
queefs?
No, like hair bows and hats and stuff like that. So when the treasure troll kick was like at its all-time high, they used to make for little kids like headbands that had treasure trolls glued to them, like hats with treasure trolls. So because we were kids next door, their family gave us this giant bag of treasure trolls. And they were like these little ones, not even like the real ones. You could tell they were like the imitation kind, like made in China. And I would set them on fire. I would like do like a group of them in the backyard, like on the floor, and I would just like douse them with hairspray and then just light them on fire and pretend that I was like filming a movie where they're dying.
Wow. I can smell it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the image of like where you grew up. It definitely seems like something from like French Canadian television or something like that.
And I didn't set toads on fire, but I used to like find where there'd be like a ton of ants, and then I would like cover them in like Elmer's glue, and then like when it would like harden the next day, you could see all the ants because it would like harden semi clear.
no, that's brilliant. Why didn't I ever think of that?
Yeah, cool. Why didn't you? Oh, you were surrounded by ants at all times and always killing them.
Yeah. I've killed them in a variety of ways.
Absolutely.
Bean,
But I
remember
mean-
when you baked those toads in the toolbox?
That was fucked up. And it was just one toad. Actually, was
There
it
were
two
two.
toads?
Yeah,
I
there
think
were
there were two.
Wait,
So Bean
what
was
did you
trying
do?
to get these two toads like that she had captured at our home.
It was their honeymoon suite. It was
Right,
the
she was
Toad
trying to get them-
Bachelor.
He was trying to get them to breed, so she put them in a wooden box and left them in the sun.
No, I left them outside overnight. I didn't know that they were gonna get.
Okay.
It was gonna be so like
They were beef
parched.
jerky.
I
at
thought
the
maybe
end.
they'd been hydrating beforehand, but apparently
with
they're
all the
not.
water that was not. It was just two toads in a
But
box.
the
in
real
sun.
problem is that they just drink so much on those Bachelor shows that they should have given them water.
They're just really leathery by the end of the show.
Yeah, they're really leathery.
and dead.
Yeah,
And
they
so-
were so dead. They were petrified.
I made sure to bring that to your attention repeatedly as a child.
Yeah, I like picked up the box and like one of them like fell to the other side and it made a sound like there was like a plastic toy rolling down. Sorry, toads. I feel like if I'd put them in water, they might have reanimated. I should have tried that.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, maybe they fell in a puddle in there. What did I do with them? Do you remember?
Toads.
Some kind of
Toads.
elaborate funeral where you buried them next to your trolls.
Yeah, probably.
I had an elaborate funeral for my first pet. It was a red-eyed tetra fish, and I fucking flipped out when I saw that it was dying. It was like my brothers got fish, I got a fish, and mine was the one that was acting very strange at night. And so my brothers thought it was hysterical, and they're like, "Oh, your fish is dying," and I was just like 7 years old and not taking it well. And by the next morning, it had died, and I had a funeral for it.
What was the elaborate funeral? Was it like one of those New Orleans funerals with umbrellas and
No,
brass instruments?
It should have been. It was in my mind. That's what it was. In real life, it wasn't. I wanted to take. I wanted to make a coffin for it. So I remember taking one of my school folders and emptying all my school stuff from it, and literally like fashioning a coffin for it,
Nice.
putting cotton balls in there so it would rest comfortably, and burying it in our front lawn. You're welcome.
That was nice. Is it still on your front lawn?
I don't live there anymore, so I
Oh,
have
is
no
that the
idea.
house that burnt down?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I burned down burning treasure trolls.
Right, exactly. Is that the house that you burnt down, burning treasure trolls?
Yeah.
Elaborate funerals. When does 301 start, Byron?
I haven't signed up for anything yet. It's hard enough to find a class, let alone one that's on the weekends. And I didn't want to ruin any more summer weekends. Like I want to have the next 3 where like I don't have something to do on Sunday.
Right.
Because the class is from 3 to 6 on Sunday, so it takes up time to like get down there, get back up. So your whole Sunday's shot, really. So even though it's something I like doing, I kind of want to give myself a summer.
Word up. I would also like to give myself a summer, but I don't think that's going to happen. What else is going on, y'all? What's fun in the news? What about the presidential election? Who thinks that Donald Trump is just an imaginary person? It's a fever dream.
I think, and as is often the case, I'm sort of stealing this opinion from Dan Carlin. You should, guys should listen to Dan Carlin's Common Sense. But I would not actually want Donald Trump to ever be the president of anything, but I do like his role in American politics right now, which is that he is saying all the crazy shit that is appealing to the crazy voters that like people with legitimate aspirations of becoming president can't say because it's too fucked up to actually, like, you wouldn't want to have to defend that in a general election, but he has no chance of winning, so he can just say whatever fucking cockamamie stuff comes into his mind, which I like because it makes all the dudes with the stodgy assholes with their, like, PR machines really uncomfortable and they can't respond to it. So in that sense, like, I do like it.
Yeah.
I think it would be a disaster if he were elected president, but nonetheless.
And there's not a real chance of that. And that's the hard thing is that, like, no matter, I feel like people are saying that there's a real chance that Donald Trump is going to be president, and that's not possibly true.
No, there's not. And that's something you said. That's like clickbaity kind of.
Right. Exactly.
That's a hot take. You got to have the hot take.
Right. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, Donald Trump. Everyone's so stupid. Like, blah, blah, blah.
So what happens?
That's just me that says that.
Well, right. I mean, he's stupid. Like, he's an insane, like, narcissist. Right. But whatever. But, like, that's what you always say to, like, try to gin up, like, excitement about the election. Like, it's not going to be exciting. It's already, like, sort of predetermined. But, like, we have to pretend like there's a chance that, like, one of these outsiders get elected. It fucking never happens. Like, because what ends up happening is, like, even if Donald Trump or who's the I can't remember who's the Democratic guy who's like getting a lot of excitement now.
Barry Sanders.
I believe I can't remember his name. I'm just like totally brain farting.
Isn't Barry Sanders an athlete?
Yes, he's a football player.
Well then.
And that's our politics/sports segment, guys.
Liz, really showing your ignorance today.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie, whatever.
So like he's the sort of liberal version of Trump, which is like, you know, he's way to the left, Trump's way to the right, and like there's this notion that somebody like this could actually like be elected, but they're not going to be elected because you'll just get like a Howard Dean thing where like they'll be doing really great, but then somehow they'll do something crazy that makes them unelectable, but like not really crazy, like. The like party political machine will just take something and like spin it into like craziness, and then it'll be like widely decided that they can't be elected. And no citizens will have decided this. It's just decided for you and given to you by the media, and you accept it as fact because we're all fucking drones and slaves.
Yeah.
So we like to act like this is possible because it sort of holds up the pretense that our like democratic system isn't totally fucking rigged, but it's totally fucking rigged, and so nobody like this could ever get elected because that's just not how it's set up.
This whole thing is just a distraction, though. Like if you think about it, it's the same shit that makes reality TV so interesting to watch. It's stuff that just like it's mindless, it's entertaining, and so even the debate that they had last week. No one left that debate. I mean, no one turned off their TV after that feeling like they understood anything more about American politics or that they had any more faith in the upcoming elections. Everyone was just like, holy shit, I can't believe you said that about Rosie O'Donnell. I can't believe this. I can't believe that. And it's just more fodder for us to just be distracted by like stuff that's not important. And don't get me wrong, I love that stuff. That's the stuff that I live off of. I don't read. I only watch fucking reality TV. I'm on social media all day long. Like I'm feeding into that shit, and I love it.
Also, you know, it's like we sort of pretend like we're gonna make a decision about a political candidate based on like their platform and like the promises they make for the things they're gonna do in office. It's just like nobody ever does this. Like
Right.
no president ever gets elected and does the shit they said they were gonna do in their election. Like it's just at this point it's like nobody. Like, it's a joke. Like, nobody expects campaign promises to be fulfilled. Like, it's a cliche that it won't be fulfilled because they never are. So, like, we're, like, pretending that we're electing people based on, like, their platform, but their platform's totally fucking meaningless. Like, Obama's platform, Hope and Change, he didn't change the fucking thing. He just, like, he droned the shit out of more people and put more people in Guantanamo. Like, nobody's going to do anything different. And, like, you know, and yet we do this whole circus and we pretend like they are. Dude, Hillary Clinton is going to walk into the White House. It's already decided.
Of course.
Like, it's done. Right. It's a fucking done deal. And, like, we'll go through all this theater, like, and there's any other result. I'm sorry. Is Jeb Bush going to get elected president?
No.
Jeb?
It's like a Globetrotters game at this point.
It's done. Hillary Clinton's been president in 2016 since, like, 2005.
Yeah.
Like, it's a done deal. This is already decided, and it's just what's going to happen. So, I mean, like, let's show up and vote because, like, I want my daughter to feel like she has some agency in the future of our country. And so we'll go through the motions, but it's already a done deal.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Vegas betting odds for the 2016 election. Hillary Clinton is even. Jeb Bush, the next closest one, is 10-3, and the next one under that, Scott Walker, is 12-1. Let's see where Trump is.
I don't understand people who get like
Trump's 14-1. Joe
Right.
Biden's 16-1. 14-1. That's better than I thought. Kim Kardashian's 1,000-1.
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Alec Baldwin and Eva Longoria are ahead of her at 750-1. Charlie Sheen 500-1. Chelsea Clinton 300-1.
Oh.
Why is Eva Longoria on that list?
Why not? Fucking Donald Trump is.
Michelle Obama 150-1.
Let's put a fucking treasure troll on there. That's fine. Let's see where it pops up on the
Let's
list.
put this podcast on there.
Yeah, dude. Coming in sideways for president for sure.
Sarah Palin 100-1.
Wow. Liz Hall.
I mean, you can't be much lower than Kim Kardashian, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. She does have some great opinions about
Makeup.
butts. I don't know. She does know a lot about butts. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's
Is
presidential election.
Caitlyn Jenner on that list? I'm surprised Caitlyn Jenner's not on that list. Like
no,
sort of
maybe this is
above
outdated.
Jeb
This is less
Bush.
updated.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is? I know this sounds stupid, but nothing ever changes. At least I feel like I don't live a life that changes whenever there's someone new in office, right?
So that's a great point, and I think that is actually so. The government is not really run by the president; it's run by the thousands of bureaucrats in Washington, right? Like the day-to-day stuff that happens, like there's a whole. The Pentagon is run by this whole military bureaucracy, and the State Department's run by these thousands of staffers that do all the State Department stuff. And there's just hundreds of thousands of people in different positions that they just go to their jobs every day for a whole career, right? They work for 30 years doing their government job, they get promoted, they kind of do the same thing. They work with sort of the same people over the decades. And every 4 years or every 8 years, a new administration gets elected, and some people change, and a few things change, and there's some new kind of, it's like when you get a new boss at work, yeah, he's got new plans for everything, but shit kind of just goes along like it did before, because everyone's just doing their job. I think that's the way the government is.
Totally.
And so it's you promise to make all these big changes, but you can only appoint so many people in your administration, and the 99% of the people who are actually doing the stuff that is government stay the same, and they don't change the way they do their job. They just sit at their desk and kind of run the clock out until they can collect their pension.
Yeah.
So like they're not going to do anything different, and like they know that like no, as big a deal as you might think you are, you're gone in 8 years, and then the next asshole is going to come in and try to change everything, and like, you know, whatever. We do what works because we just punch in the morning and punch out at night, and that's how it is.
Right.
So I think that like when you're talking about your day-to-day like experience with like the United States government, it's not the president that you really, it's the rest of the fucking massive bureaucracy that makes decisions that affect your life.
Right. Like imagine, like think about when you get to work in the morning and you're like, I'm gonna get all this fucking shit done and I'm just gonna start like 8 a.m. ready to go, and then like you have to check your fucking emails and you have to like, and then your whole fucking day is gone before you've even gotten anything done. Imagine what it's like if you're the fucking president. Think of all the bullshit nonsense you have to go through before you even try and do anything, if you even want to.
Right. And let's not forget that you got to spend a fairly significant amount of your time raising money.
Yeah.
Going around to $10,000 a plate dinners and like kissing babies and doing all this other bullshit. And like every politician has to. It's all about raising money.
Right.
So like 40% of your time is spent like banging the phones trying to get people to contribute to like this or that like party person.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't understand people who get like super crazy passionate about politics and put fucking bumper stickers on their car. You just ruined your car forever for something that doesn't really mean anything. Right. Bumper sticker.
Yeah, and like, so like I get involvement in like local politics. Like, so I think like if you're involved in like your town or county politics, like you can actually change things. Like you can get like a road paved or like a pool built or like just shit that actually impacts your life. Like you can get that done like in local politics. You know, like if you want, you know, I don't know, some like just a thing in your town, you want to get that done. Yeah, go in and get involved in it, and that's the real stuff that will impact your life. But like national politics, please.
Oh, I think you should join the Ramsey Town Council and get a tunnel dug under that wall.
I may do that. Actually, whenever we end up buying a house out here, like whatever town we end up buying a house in, I definitely want to get involved in what's going on in the town.
Cool.
And if that involves like digging a tunnel underneath the... So for the listener at home who hasn't heard me rant about this, so when we moved into our house here in Ramsey, New Jersey, you know, we came out to look at it, and we were like, wow, this is just like walking distance from the train station. Like, this is going to be awesome. Because at the time, I was going to the city every day. So was Amy. And so we're like, damn, looking at the Google map, like, that's just like a short walk. Awesome. So that's one of the things we like checked off as like totally sweet about this house. So we move in, like the first day, we're like, well, let's walk around the neighborhood. And we're like, why don't we walk over to the train station and see what that walk's like? You start walking down the street. We get to like where there's like a tower on the train station. We see that that's close, and we walk and we counted this like, you know, 30-foot wall. We're like, damn, this wall. I wonder how we get around this. So we start walking around. There's like no real apparent way to like get around this wall between us and the train station. So we go into one of the local businesses that are like right near there on our side of the wall, and we're like, how do you get to the train station from here? And they're like, oh, you just drive. Like, well, what do you mean? It's right there. I could throw a rock and hit it. And they're like, yeah, well, you got to get on the freeway and then just go down like half an exit and then you pull off. And I was like, you can't walk there? And they're like, I don't think so. It's never occurred to me to wonder if you could. There's no door? No. There's a wall right there. Can't you see it? And it's like,
what is this, Mexico?
Yeah, right.
So you mean I can hear
I show you my papers?
I can hear people talking on the train platform, but I can't fucking go there without getting in my car and driving on the freeway? And they're like looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, yeah. Like,
right.
Why would you not get in your car and drive there?
The point of public transportation is so that you have to drive to it.
Right.
Obviously.
And I was like, oh my God, this is fucking New Jersey.
It's so stupid.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And so here we are now at this house that's like literally a fucking stone's throw from the train station. Bean came out to visit me the other day and took a fucking Uber
That's accurate.
to my house for fucking 99 cents.
Yeah.
And a really angry Russian cab driver.
The guy was like, do you just want to do, like, we can do 5 fingers. I'll just help you over the wall. You don't even have to get in the car.
I'll give you a boost.
Just scale it, yeah.
So that's, like, my predicament. And, like, it's definitely, I could go out there with a shovel and fucking dig under this wall. And, you know, or throw a hook, like a rope ladder over the top.
Here, put the baby and 3 remotes on the other side of the wall and see how fast Leah gets to it.
Right? Yes.
She just digs her own little...
She's not gonna dig a hole. She's just gonna fucking take a running start and plow through the wall.
She'll just smash through it.
So she has been doing a lot of that, which is like she just like will be holding something that she's really excited about right in front of her face and like storming across the room and just will blast right into the wall, bounce off the wall, fall down, and cry. It's like the most untalented move you've ever seen anybody do.
She did that when we were in we were all together. She just fucking ran into the wall, and it was the funniest thing and I was dying laughing, and my Auntie Kate, who's like the most loving, beautiful, wonderful Earth Mother in the entire world, was just appalled at how hard I was laughing at the idea of my niece slamming in, like, my adorable, beautiful, fragile little niece.
And weeping. She's crying so loud. And
weeping.
It's funnier because
I'm crippled laughing.
Giant tears like squirting out of her face.
Yeah.
It's fucking so funny.
Her mouth is so big and such an oval, and she looks so much like the stressed out emoji. I can't even handle it. I just was dying, tears pouring down my face.
She's grown a few extra teeth, I've noticed, in this morning's photo. She's no longer got scrapers
now.
Yeah. No longer Leah 5-tooth. That was just a phase.
She's Leah 8-tooth. She's got molars coming in, which she's been unhappy.
Oh, that sucks.
Shit. She must hate that.
Yeah.
Wow. Apparently that's really, really painful. Babies endure a lot more than we give them credit for, let me tell you.
They're real babies about it.
They're real babies about it. Guys,
can I do my pick of the week?
Of course.
Yeah. My pick of the week is an awesome website I discovered called LizHallComedy.com.
Discover thy Columbus. My newest comedy videos up there, guys.
Have you all been to this website?
Yeah. There's some really good content on there currently. Yeah, LizHallComedy.com. It's a good one.
I'm retweeting this right now.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to check it out after this, because if I start typing, then we're going to have that background sound.
Speaking of background sounds, what are those phone calls you keep getting? That's my pick of the week.
The landline that I have in my apartment.
Yeah, why do you have like an office phone in the background?
No, when you get you know when you get your cable package, it's like, oh, you get a phone line free. I'm like, right, I really don't need it, but it's like fucking anyway. It's been courtesy calls. It's like, and it has the person who says, it has the voice that announces who's calling, and it's like 1800. It like lists out the phone number because it's those courtesy calls. But it's fucking ridiculous. 2 of them in the 8 a.m. hour.
Right, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I have to figure what that is, or just unplug them.
Those phone calls come through my television.
Yeah, if my TV was on, it would show that on the screen.
Yeah.
Too.
I've seen those too, and like I wouldn't even know how to answer them. Like,
I know.
I don't have a phone.
I just press my ear really up close to the TV, and I'm like, hello?
I feel like it's like some like poltergeist trapped inside the phone, like trying to call for help, and you're trapped in there. I can't help you.
Yeah, they're like, I can't send you Papa John's in there, phone caller. Get your own delivery person. I have a pick of the week as well. Have I said no? Okay, I don't think I've picked this one yet. I watched the Tig Notaro documentary. I think we've talked about Tig Notaro. She's a comedian who lives in L.A., but she is a hilarious comedian. But also, at one point in her life recently, she was diagnosed with a grave illness. Her mother died, and she was also diagnosed with cancer.
Damn.
And so she has this breakout performance at a place called Largo in LA where she just stands on stage and talks about having cancer in the most hilariously candid way possible, and the sort of what happened in her life after that. And it was interesting because it's interesting to see what happens after something like that, because you're like, how do I reproduce that? I don't know, I don't have any material aside from talking about having cancer, so what else do I talk about? So but it's really good. She's a genius. I highly recommend that and all of her stand-up comedy performances. Yeah.
And she has a Netflix special.
Yeah, she has a Netflix special.
That I will need to watch, because you didn't talk about it on the podcast, but in our group text, you guys talked about Tig, and I had never even known she existed.
Yeah, and she's on my drive up here, I was in the van with my friend Georgia, and the van was all packed up, and we stopped off at a gas station, and Tig Notaro was at the gas station. So I like had a celebrity sighting of Tig Notaro
awesome.
on the way to New York, which I thought was kind of like a cool, auspicious thing.
What's TIG short for?
I have no idea. I don't remember. Sorry, Tig. Bazoo, you got a pick?
TIG. Oh shit! I forgot. I have to come up with a pick too. My pick of the week.
I have another pick. I might have actually already picked this before. Have I told you guys about the TV show Unreal?
No.
No.
It's a TV show on Lifetime, actually. It's a like non-reality show about like the making of reality shows, and I was turned onto it by a friend of the pod and also roommate Lindsay Mannering, and it's a really great show because it just shows how stupid and fake all of that reality show is, as we are all, I'm sure we all knew.
TIG is short for Matilda.
Oh, that
that's
makes
cool.
sense. I'm gonna just start going by Pig.
Yeah,
And it's short for Byram.
nice.
My pick of the week is
The longer you take to say pick of the week, the more time you have to pick something.
Fishing. My pick of the week is the gorgeous courtroom sketch of Tom Brady that has been hitting the internet. You guys are both nodding in agreement.
Oh,
That's a good pick.
Feel
That's a
that.
good one.
What the fuck happened there?
Did the court artist have a stroke while that was happening?
I don't know, but apparently she's just like not really a great artist. But there's been a lot of great memes related to that. But so now the big story is apparently she's being cyberbullied by Patriots fans.
Obviously.
Hey, you know what? If you don't like what people are saying on Twitter, turn it off.
Right.
Turn it off. Just fucking turn it off. Don't read it. Just block people. Just shut up. What do you mean cyberbullied?
More importantly, why do we have courtroom artists? Like, what purpose do they serve?
Right?
We have cameras now. We don't need this.
I mean, I can understand that if this were like the 19-teens, we wanted to take cameras and there were giant flash bulbs like exploding and like blinding everyone with sparks and smoke. Okay, maybe then camera's not so good.
Hey.
Now, fucking digital cameras that you can strap to your forehead, like, dude, let's just get in the now, man.
There is video that exists of fucking Abraham Lincoln's inauguration. So we've had functioning cameras that haven't been too disruptive, right? It is insane, and also of course
I think it adds a little whimsy to the legal process. I think that's what we're trying to go for. I think the courts they're too serious, too buttoned up. We need an artist in there, just contributing a little bit of whimsy.
Fair enough.
It's the one. Somebody's got to pay artists for something, guys.
You're right. Sorry, I fucked up there.
Same thing with court stenographers. Right, like you just got to pay writers something, even if it's like a pointless, useless thing. Just got to pay them something. The government knows
court
that.
stenography is such a dying skill. It's so hard to do. You literally have like 4 buttons on your keypad.
Do you know how long it takes me to write out like one sentence on a full keyboard?
Oh yeah.
Like 45 minutes.
I was watching Family Feud last night, and they said name something that teens do faster than grown adults, and the first person wrote drive. First person said drive, the second person said run, and I was sitting there being like, because I was on my computer and I'm like hunting and pecking, and I'm like, type, type. I'm using 2 fingers as I'm typing. Somebody say type. And then, lo and behold, friend of the pod, Steve Harvey, was like, number 1 answer was type and text, and I was like, yes. Oh, my other pick of the week is Family Feud, which I used to hate Steve Harvey, but now that I watch him host it, whenever like there's nothing else to watch on the 1,000 channels of cable that I have, he was asking this family yesterday. The question was, 100 people surveyed. These are the top 8 luxury car names used by strippers, right? So you have the obvious ones. You have like Porsche and Lexus, and like those were all up there. And so they had this one family. It was like this like military family, and the patriarch of the family was just, his sons were all lined up next to him, like in their uniforms, like all like fucking like statuesque and shit. And this guy is just like a funny guy. It's like, how did he raise these kids? He doesn't seem like he belongs in this family. So his first guess, and of course they got a big X for it, was Cadillac. He's like, what strip club are you gonna go into? Like, ladies and gentlemen, now taking the stage, Cadillac. So his whole family looked at him. He just started cracking up, and then it made its way down the line, and like everyone else answered. Then it got back to him, and they were like, okay, one last shot. You have one more strike against you. What's your answer? And he goes, Lincoln. Nobody had said anything like Ferrari, Lamborghini, or anything. The two choices were Cadillac and Lincoln.
I'm thinking like Crown Vic. What about Crown Vic? Do you guys think there are any lesbian strippers named Outback?
He's like, how about a Yukon? A GMC Yukon.
Right.
Actually, Hummer would be a good name. We should do that on this podcast. We should talk about like some Family Feud categories. Like, you know, I think that'd be fun if we had to guess what the most surveyed, because we are the voice of the people.
Right.
The people depend on us.
Yeah.
But you know who also depends on me is my angry little daughter. So I have to go.
Is she yelling?
Yeah, I got to go tag out Amy and take over the baby wrestling.
All right, y'all.
Happy
We'll
Saturday
do
morning,
Family
guys.
Feud next week.
Good
Hi, y'all.
I love it.
Yeah.
Laters.
Laters.
Love y'all. Bye.